Hey yo, what is up FPG fam? Further here and welcome back to another Wuthering Waves video. So for today's video, I did want to talk about the dev interview that they did about an hour or two ago now as of this recording. And initially I was going to react to the dev interview, but rather I decided to take a look at what was in that dev interview in its entirety and then pick out some points that I feel was important to talk about and that I wanted to discuss with you all. So I do hope you enjoyed today's video. I do hope you get some value from it. Before we do hop in though, I did want to give a massive shout out to the developers of Wuthering Waves after seeing this dev interview and what they've been cooking up for the last 9 months. I just want to give them a massive kudos and a massive round of applause for all the work that they have done. They've done a massive job in not only redesigning a lot of the game, but also overhauling certain aspects, and the undertaking and the amount of resources that it probably took to do a lot of those things just deserves a lot of credit and a lot of praise. So if there's any Wuthering Waves developers watching this video, just a massive shout out to you. You are doing a fantastic job, and I hope that you continue doing such a great job moving forward, not only for this next closed beta, but for the official release of the game, and of course continuing moving forward. Now, with that being said, let's go ahead and hop into the first point that I did want to talk about that they spoke on, and that is the environment itself. So when we played the first closed beta, and going back even further, the first initial technical test, which was about 1.5 years, if not more ago, the landscape in the world was bland. It was dull. Now, I know they were going for that post-apocalyptic look, and it certainly had that, but there was just no detail to the environment. So they took that feedback into consideration, and we all noticed the major changes for this upcoming closed beta and what could be for the official release of the game that they went ahead and made and implemented. It looks way more vibrant. It looks a lot more detailed, but not only more vibrant and detailed, it maintained the post-apocalyptic aesthetic, which is a fantastic undertaking that they did, and it leads to a more immersive, engaging environment when you're out there traversing and traveling the world. So I think they did a great job with that, and I hope they continue to improve, especially with new areas that we encounter and new areas that are going to open up to us, right? So that was the first part that I did want to talk about. The second part that I found to be interesting was the storyline. They talked about how they essentially overhauled the main story, at least 90% of that, which is a huge undertaking, and obviously that was due to feedback that they received from the first closed beta. Now, what parts of the story that they changed, I'm not entirely too sure. I know a lot of people are concerned about that opening part with the MC Yang and Chishia, and how they were very skeptical of him and how they might have changed that. That is a possibility that they could have done that because there was a lot of feedback in regards to it, even though I thought that that situation and scenario was very logical, their responses and the way they went about it, but some people just didn't like it, and I know there was a lot of feedback in regards to it, so that is a possibility that that could have been changed. But 90% of the story, you know, we're talking about voice acting, animations, and things of that nature. That's a lot of time, that's a lot of resources, and you have to write essentially a brand new script for the story that you initially had in place already. So for them to go ahead and do that is pretty incredible. Once again, I hope they kept that scene in, but there's a great possibility that they changed it. But for the rest of the story and even the side quests, that could be a net positive that we could look forward to, and I'm excited to see what the new story has in store and the direction that they decided to take with that. So that was the second part that I did want to discuss. Now, the third part was in regards to the characters themselves, or the Resonators, and their designs. So some of them had some slight minor redesigns and others had complete overhauls. So for example, like Yang had some slight redesigns. The Rover had some slight redesigns, like with the female Rover, they pointed out instead of leggings, she has boots to be more practical. That is understanding. And some other characters had some decent redesigns as well, which I think were all net positives, right? I think they all look fantastic. Now, there are some Resonators that had complete overhauls with their redesigns. One that comes to mind from back in the day was from the technical test of the closed beta 1 was Chishia. She had a complete overhaul in her design, and I think that was a net positive. Another one that they talked about was Baishi, her name is. It used to be Bai Lian, but now it's Baishi. She had essentially a complete overhaul with her hair color and her outfit that she's wearing to be more sleek. So that is one that I think a lot of people are going to like and really appreciate. And then the other one that comes to mind as well is the captain, Ling Yang. He had a complete overhaul and a complete redesign from when he was in closed beta 1 to closed beta 2, which I think once again was a net positive. I think he is an improvement. I think the redesign looks great. Some people like the old one. I personally like the new one. And of course, that's going to be the case with a lot of these Resonators, if not all of them. Some people are going to like the redesigns and overhaul, and some are not. It's an opinion. And of course, everybody has one. So you're not going to be able to please everybody. But I think the majority of the community appreciates the redesigns and the improvements to most of these characters, if not all of them. So that was another thing that I did want to touch on. I think they all look great, right? I think they all look fantastic, and chef's kiss around. Now, the next thing I did want to talk about are the new Resonators that they spoke of and how they went about, developing them and their gameplay style. So the first one is my main, which I believe her name is Qianxin. I could be wrong about that. I do apologize if I mispronounced her name, but she's certainly going to be a main of mine. And I was pretty spot on for my last video theorizing and speculating on her gameplay style, which is that Tai Chi style where you incorporate defense to then launch an offense. Essentially, she's going to have stances where she can counterattack and be able to use her defense to then implement her offense. And I thought that was a very cool style that they decided to go with, because you don't see many games implement that type of martial arts within an ARPG. And so to see that in this game, I'm in love with her more and more each and every day. I think she looks fantastic, plays fantastic, and cannot wait to try her. And then the other one was the captain, Ling Yang, how they talked about he was modeled directly off of the lion dancing martial arts, and you could see that within his gameplay, which was really cool and fun to know, because I was unaware of that. So to have that little detail be shown in this interview was fantastic to see, as well as with Qianxin. So I really like that aspect, and you can see the details that they put into these Resonators when they're developing their gameplay, and they're taking inspiration from other aspects of real world things. So I really enjoyed that. And moving on from there, they did go ahead and talk about echoes, which I found to be incredibly interesting, because they did a lot of quality of life updates where you can sort the echoes. You are able to farm them quicker to be able to get multiple copies, because there were some issues with the echoes being able to level them up, how you farm them, and things of that nature in the closed beta 1. And I know they did receive feedback about that, so it appears that they did improve upon that aspect with the quality of life updates in regards to the echoes. Furthermore, you are able to showcase them as figurines, which I thought was really cool. But they also improved their gameplay when you use them. So when you use the echoes, usually it was just like an instance where you have them come out and you do something, or you transformed into them and it was just for like an instance where you just do a quick attack with them. But now it appears that they improved on the animations. You can actually parry with the echoes, which is pretty cool. I'm not sure. I believe you could do that in the closed beta 1, but now they have different animations to be able to parry, if I'm not mistaken, from closed beta 1 to 2. But now it appears that if you transform into an echo, you can actually, fight as them for a period of time, which is awesome to see, because that was something that I wanted to do with Crownless, what I wanted to do with the motorcycle boss, with the ape, the gorilla, be able to actually use them. So that is fun to see. Not only that, though, this was very cool to see. And I'm going to go ahead and put a clip in here of a podcast-esque style that I had way back in the day. This was probably about a year ago. It's on the channel in the playlist that you can see right now for Wuthering Waves on my channel. But it was about a year ago now with Chaotic and Vulcan. And we had a podcast discussing what we saw in the technical tests and just giving our thoughts and opinions about Wuthering Waves, because we didn't know much about the game at the time. But we talked about echoes, and Vulcan brought up a very good point about how echoes, being able to capture them is a really cool thing. But what if you can capture a rare echo, one that looks different, almost like a shiny Pokemon, right? And that gives you an excuse to traverse the world and be in the game extensively, to be able to try and find these different looking echoes that sets your echo apart from somebody else's. So when you're a co-op, you could show off that you captured a very rare echo. And they went ahead and talked about that in this dev interview, and it's actually implemented in the game where there's a different color echo that you can capture. It's a rarity echo, and I thought that was so cool that they went ahead and implemented that. So I'll go ahead and show that clip right now.
Yesterday, actually, I didn't know what capturing them multiple times was doing, but I was watching back on some of my footage, and I was like, "Oh snap! It leveled up there." Like it's a really
Yeah,
cool
that's
system.
really cool, man.
So what I would find insane as well is if there was like a chance when you're capturing it, like a 0.005% chance that
Here
you
we
get
go.
like a different outfit on it or a different skin.
I knew
it
he was
doesn't.
gonna go there.
Yeah. So like, because I said I love shiny hunting in Pokemon. So imagine if like that was like a little chance, and it doesn't give you any competitive benefits or anything like that. It's just a
It's
flex that
shiny.
you
It's
got
just
that.
a,
You
it's
know,
just
you
a
got the shiny.
Yeah.
Like I would grind the open world all day capturing things like my favorite ones, if that was a thing.
And it was a very
Yeah.
small percent chance. And you know that one boss you were talking about, Chaotic, that has the red wings and the spear, like the shiny would be like gold wings or something like that. And
Yeah.
it'd be like
Yeah.
a 0.01% chance that that happens.
That
and just
literally would be a
massive flex.
flex. That would literally would be a flex.
That would be one of the most massive flexes. Like you're in co-op, and then that guy, he does his little mimicry, and it's the shiny. You just looking at him like, are you serious? This guy's luck right now, or he's got one of those. I think that people would stay on the game for that, and that's what developers want. They want you to stay playing the game.
And on top of that, you cannot monetize that site. Like if you put that in the game as a thing, do not monetize it because that would destroy it.
It would ruin
It'd
the
take away from the value.
Exactly.
Yeah.
How cool is that, right? That is pretty amazing, and my eyes lit up when I saw that. And for them to actually do that is awesome, because now it gives you an excuse to travel the world, to be in the game longer, to play the game a little bit more outside of just doing, you know, your boss fights and collecting mats. You can actually now try and hunt rare echoes. That's really, really cool. And that was about everything that they talked about that I thought was important to discuss. I thought overall the dev interview was fantastic. I think everything that they've done in the last 9 months has been commendable, and I really do appreciate all the hard work that they put into this game and the improvements that they're making and the feedback that they're taking into consideration. So I just hope that once again they continue moving forward, that they continue supporting this game, continue advertising, continue marketing, and continue improving not only the gameplay, but the story, the art, and the direction that they go. Anyways, let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. Let me know what you guys think, and cannot wait to hopefully get into this closed beta to be able to try it out and be able to provide more content for you guys. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and get on out of here. Remember to stand out, be different, have fun, go further beyond in everything that you do. My name is Cody. You call me further. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye, guys.